Do you have a Khaleesi in your life? Someone who lacks the skills to succeed without manipulating others or having dragons, so to speak, to gain power and control? You'd be surprised how common this is. So, what we're going to do is explore how this plays out, not only in the celebrity drama, but in real life. And more importantly, how you can take your power back. TMZ recently reported that Taylor Swift is allegedly unhappy about how Blake Lively may have leveraged their friendship in negotiations with Justin Baldoni. In the report, Blake is said to have called herself a Khaleesi, Dragon Queen from the Game of Thrones. Now, we've actually seen these receipts. Now, whether this might have been taken out of context or not, the story highlights a broader issue. People who climb to the top climb to power not through their own skills, but using other people to control the narrative and to become success. I've seen this time and time again with my clients. And also, you might have experienced it yourself. I know I have. It's confusing and it's a painful dynamic. But once you can understand this, you can break free. So let's really break it down. In the Game of Thrones, Khaleesi maintains power, not particularly just her leadership skills, but through commanding dragons. She needs the dragons. In real life, toxic people do something similar. They manipulate to climb the ladder of success, relying on the power and influence of those around them. They literally get everybody else to do the work for them, but they take credit for the work. For example, one of my clients had an employee like this. The employee wasn't competent at her job. The boss could see her competency level. What this person in her team did was she started making alliances with people that were more stronger and more of a power position. So the dragons, if you like. So they could be like the Sonys or Ryan Reynolds or Taylor Swift. She started to create an alliance with powerful people, her dragons. She convinced then the CEO, the most powerful dragon, to fire her boss, who actually knew her competency level. This kind of narrative building happens everywhere, where toxic individuals discredit anyone who challenges their competence level or can see their competence level. They ride on the influence of others to maintain power and control. So why do these powerful people, these dragons, believe someone like this or get caught up in this? Most people believe the stories based on what they're told, not on hard facts. Nor do they go around looking and checking people's phones and seeing how they're talking about them. Toxic individuals are experts at gaining trust. They're manipulators. They love bomb, they tell people what they want to hear, and they insert themselves into positions of influence. They are experts at this. And over time, they collect enablers who are in powerful positions, what I call like creating a fake family. These people live within the narcissist illusion, the fake illusion that they've created, and they accept this version of events from the toxic individual, even when the facts contradict it. In my client's case, the CEO didn't bother checking if the employee had brought any actual business to the table. And actually, he would have found that she had bought none. Similarly, we're seeing where there's a potential that Justin Baldoni has been discredited because he is in a position to actually know what's happened. Look, if you've experienced this, you know how painful it is. It's like your whole reality is being erased. It's a masterclass in gaslighting. When you're screaming inside, why can't anybody see what's really happening? So why do powerful people, the dragons, believe the narcissist? Let's really break this down. This is where things get really deep psychologically. Yes, people are busy. They are being manipulated by the narcissist who knows exactly how to charm, love bomb, and tell people what they want to hear. But there's much more to it as well. When people don't look at the facts, you have to assume they are either caught up in the narcissist illusion or they want to remain part of the illusion. Here's what happens. The first thing is cognitive dissonance and also an avoidance of their own pain. Imagine being part of a system where you've enabled someone's manipulation, consciously or unconsciously, and you didn't know this, and to suddenly have to face the truth of this, it would mean acknowledging that you've deceived or possibly been complicit in hurting someone else, most people instinctively avoid that level of discomfort because we instinctively avoid shame and guilt. They convince themselves that the narcissist version of events is the events of truth. Bystanders might tell themselves, oh, it's not that bad, or they're exaggerating, just to avoid the guilt of not stepping in, that why didn't I do something? That's what keeps them in the narcissist illusion, or what I call the narcissist fake family. The second thing is social proof and conformity. People often take cues from those around them to determine what's real. So if others are supporting the narcissist, and remember what the narcissist is doing is actually creating an illusion that everybody's supporting them. They've got all these dragons around them. Individuals are more likely to fall in line with that narrative rather than risk standing out and questioning it. The narcissist builds what again is like a fake family, a group of enablers who conform to and reinforce the narcissist version of reality or illusion. So if you've tried to explain the truth to someone in this circle of, say, the fake family or the enablers, you probably heard responses that actually make no logical sense. It's like, are you not seeing the facts? This is ridiculous. That's because these people aren't operating on facts. They're operating on the narcissist illusion, and it's causing cognitive dissonance within them. They just can't deal with that. The third thing is fear of social consequences. Another major reason people believe or enable the narcissist is fear. Most people are fearful of retaliation, and it's actually wired in us that if we're afraid, our nervous system will kick into play and we can't think straight. So we go into fight, flight, freeze, fawn, and it actually stops us from engaging our critical thinking part of the brain. There might be social consequences of losing their place in the narcissist circle. That's why a lot of people are so intrigued or so interested in this whole scenario with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, is they're seeing this power play potentially and how it might relate to them in their own real life. Challenging the narcissist often leads to being smeared, ostracized, blamed for things that you didn't do, or even potentially professionally harmed as well. And for many, it's just safer to go along with the illusion than to risk those consequences that affect themselves, but also might affect their family, being able to take care of their family. Number 4, lack of awareness. They just genuinely don't understand the tactics like gaslighting, triangulation, or smear campaigns, and that toxic individuals use to control others. They're just unaware, and that makes them targets for manipulation as well. So when somebody who's toxic is so kind and is always there and being so lovely, you could potentially get sucked into all of that. And it hurts to think that someone was maybe using you all along because of who you are or how successful you are. Now, in the film, I don't know if you've watched the film, the sister-in-law of the toxic individual tells the victim, if you stay with him, I won't speak to you again. That's not typically how real life works. In reality, most people in a toxic person circle will blame you. They will say that you're the problem for standing up for yourself. You're the problem for leaving. They will minimize your experiences. They'll pressurize you to stay in an abusive dynamic, emotionally, psychologically, and even financially. And they will do this because they are trapped in the narcissist illusion for all those things that I've mentioned already. And they're part of the fake family. If you're finding that people aren't looking at the facts, they're not understanding what's really going on, it's likely they are deep in the narcissist illusion. They are part of that fake family. That is not real. And they may not want to see the truth because that would require them to face up to their own role. And that's the level of pain many people aren't ready to confront. They just don't want to. And that's why it's so crucial to find allies outside of that circle, of that fake family. People who are capable of seeing the real you and validating your experience. How do you protect yourself? How do you deal with someone like this in the real world where few people are focused on finding the truth? It starts with recognizing the game for what it is. It's a power play. Full stop. Anyone that is riding a dragon or wants to ride a dragon and have dragons is saying, I want to have power and control over people using fear. A dragon's breathing fire and is doing things to people that causes fear. And most importantly, you need to understand that you have power that they are trying to get. If you didn't have some power, they wouldn't be coming after you with a lot of dragons. If you look at what this is, the rights, Justin Baldoni had the rights to the film. You have the rights. You have rights to something, and that's what your power is. If someone is trying to manipulate you or discredit you, it's because you have something they want. Here's the strategies that have helped. Don't let them know that you're keeping records. Facts become your anchor when the fake family gaslights you. For example, Justin Baldoni had the receipts. Might be the very thing that is helping him regain his power. The evidence is the key thing. Number 2, bullies always want something you have. Understand this. You have the power. You have the power. Bullies escalate when they want something from you. They will get, whether it's your rights, your position, your creativity. When they bring out their dragons, and these dragons don't have to be in a position of power, they might be your children. That's your cue to hold on to your power without judgment. Recognize it for what it is. We've all been there where we've handed over our power for some reason. But really now is the time to stand more firm in your power and understand the game that's being played here. Number 3, find allies outside of the fake family or the illusion. You can't rely on the enablers, or nor can you talk to these people, because nothing is logical. And you've got to go outside of the manipulator's circle. Surround yourself with people who want to see the truth. Otherwise, you risk being pulled into that narrative as well, where you start to gaslight yourself and where nothing makes sense. For example, they might claim you should work more, but also argue with you that the father doesn't need to pay child support, even though she's been the sole earner for all this time. And I have this so often with my clients. It's all nonsense. It doesn't make sense. And the real allies will help you stay grounded in logic, in critical thinking, in what helps you make sense of the situation. Number 4, know their power is an illusion. No Khaleesi holds any real power without her dragons. Their control is built on smoke and mirrors. Basically, the dragon, whether it's their children, their friends, their co-workers trying to pressurize you, is because they know you have the upper hand, and their goal is to create fear in you until you give up. But that fear is their only weapon. Being discredited and gaslit by people you trusted is the most painful experience. Emotional pain gets stored into the brain's amygdala, a certain part of the brain which handles fear and emotional memory. But this fear, this pain, unfortunately doesn't just disappear. It gets triggered in future relationships as well. So the first step to healing is releasing the emotional pain that you have accumulated from your past relationships, so you can feel like yourself again when you go into a new relationship. And also remember, toxic relationships put you through the cycle of love bombing, devaluation, and discard over and over and over again, which erodes your self-worth. We need to take a proactive approach to rebuilding your value so that you feel a sense of self-worth. And through therapy and support, many of my clients have learned to value themselves again and surround themselves with people who truly see them, see their value. If you have ever been or have dealt with a Khaleesi in your life, someone that's used others to gain power while discrediting you, please share your stories in the comments, because not only will it help you to acknowledge this, but it will also help somebody else to know that they're not alone. And if you're on the healing journey, please also do check out the resources. I have a Heal to Thrive program. You can apply for it, and you can see the link in the description. Also, I really appreciate you listening to this. Please do subscribe, share this video with anybody who needs it, who might be dealing with a Khaleesi right now. Sending you so much love. Till next time.